Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Truth Train. Here from an undisclosed location
In Iowa.
Yes, it is in Iowa. We're of course streaming or recording from one of our many holiday bunkers, which we are stockpiling beans and all other like doomsday prepper necessary stuff.
Basically beans and then weapons to guard the beans.
Right.
Because no one's getting our beans.
Hey, nobody's going to get our beans.
That's always been sort of the motto of this podcast.
Yes, that should be the slogan.
Yeah, I think so.
There's no brakes on the Truth Train, but also you'll never get our beans.
That's right.
Yeah.
In case there was any confusion.
Well, when the apocalypse happens, we'll change it.
To what?
To the beans?
Oh, to you never got our beans.
You never got our beans.
So afterwards, yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff happening in the world right now. Of course, just to do a quick news sweep. How fragile the world is. London Heathrow is closed because of something happened.
Right.
And it triggers global travel disruption. So one airport has to close for 24 hours and the world goes nuts.
You know, for me, this is a perfect example of the following, right? The truth is fast.
It is.
And we got to be faster.
Yes.
Right? And that's what you're displaying to me right now.
Truth is fast, but we have to be quicker.
That's right.
And of course, the Trump, I love to watch Trump YouTube clips because he's very entertaining.
Right.
He's very you can call him whatever you want.
That's right.
Call him what you want. Call him something.
Comedian.
Sure. Whatever you want. He's a businessman. No, he's a comedian. No, he's a disruptor. He's a whatever. He's all of, he's whatever you want him to be, basically.
That's right.
And he now closed the Department of Education, right?
Right.
And he's been saying, I've been watching him a lot, like, we're going to have creative education. And I'm not going to do a Trump imitation here, but he said, we're going to do a creative education. We're going to be on the top because there's great countries like Sweden, Norway, Denmark. They have better education than us, and we need to have a better education. But here's the funny thing. All of those places, and also Finland, all of those countries, like how the educational system is built up, it's built up around having like a social, like a centralized governed body, like a department of education, basically,
right.
which then distributes the information out to the other schools or what, like the curriculum, what they should learn, what they should do, whatever the tests are, and like it's a centralized body. And now he says, like, we have to throw it back to the states, like taking away the centralized body and then giving it to the states. So, which is now, it's not going to be at all close to the Scandinavian model of doing things.
We have to get rid of the centralized body to be like the people who have a centralized body.
Right, basically. Yeah. And I'm not against whatever he's doing. Like I don't have a dog in that fight. But it's just funny to me that you're like, hey, I want to be like the winners in society, the ones who are wearing white T-shirts. Those are the winners in society. That's why I'm going to now wear a black T-shirt. He's like, what? No. Why are you doing the opposite thing of what the winners are doing?
Right.
Like, I'm going to be a businessman. I'm going to be a successful businessman. So now I'm going to become a communist.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how you do it.
Isn't it?
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, there were money to be made in the communism regime, the communist regime. Anyway, so with that intro, the world is burning. Things are getting closed.
Right.
The stock markets are like it's insecurity.
They're on fire.
They're on fire. Everything's on fire.
Everything. Everything's
Basically,
on fire.
Everything's on fire right now.
Yeah.
And it was also, right? And also Trump, like, I'm going to be a peace president. And now he's bombing Yemen. And he's not. He said Netanyahu can do whatever he wants. Okay, all right. So it's like...
Is he bombing Yemen?
Yeah, he's bombing.
Why?
Not him personally. Like,
right.
he doesn't have a plane to do it with.
Right.
No, but he has, like, commanded ships to, like, start bombing the Houthis.
Okay.
Right? Which is backed by the Iranian regime, basically.
Right.
So it's a shit show,
Right.
to say the least. But we're lucky. There's all of this bad news circle that is going on here. There's good news.
Right. What's that?
We have you.
That's true.
We have you.
You know, that's true. I almost forgot about me.
Because there's
and all
so
the
much
chaos.
vertigo. Like, we don't know where are we up? Are we down? Sideways? Sidetracked? What is happening?
Great question.
It's like, when you have a video camera and you move it all like you move it around a lot and you get dizzy by looking at it.
Uh-huh.
But if you put something in front of it that has like a focus point, the world is spinning, yes, but you're not nauseous now.
Because you can focus on
You
this
can
one
focus,
thing.
and you are that focus point.
That's funny. A lot of people say that, actually.
Yes, the world is spinning,
Yeah.
but I have my eyes on decks,
That's right.
right? Because yes, we will all eventually die, but if you have a focus on the truth
That's right.
delivered by a guy who has a copied Dude Big Lebowski sweater,
Knitted.
and a headset,
Yeah.
and a studio built like it cost us $1 million to build this studio to remind us of an apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Supposed to look like some random loser's apartment.
Yes, we're in a big studio right now.
Of course we are.
Yes.
The Universal lot is over there.
Yes, we're in California, Hollywood right now.
We are.
Yes, we were in Idaho, but we quickly... The point is, how do we restore sanity here?
It's a fantastic question. You know, a lot of people say that, like, when you're on an airplane and it crashes or like it's going down,
Right.
who do you look to know if you should be worried or not? The stewardess person.
Right.
So I feel like I am the stewardess person on the crashing plane that is the world.
Yeah, and also, don't you, like, if a plane is going down and you have to, like, try to save your life in the water or whatever, in the jungle, you will look to a person with a miniskirt and high heels for survival tips.
Exactly.
Right? Because the people who are serving coffee and telling you to put the belt on and raise your tray,
That's right.
those are the people who you will cling to.
That's right.
I mean, those high heels probably have, like, survival equipment inside.
They know.
Dry matches,
Hey, they took a class.
tweezers,
Yeah.
stuff you need to have in case of an emergency.
Sewing kit.
Yes, maybe you have like a hole in your jacket. You need to sew it.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So these are the people we look at. So you are the stewardess.
I am the stewardess on the crashing plane that is the world.
Yes.
I've always said that, but mostly other people say it.
So how do we do this now? How do we restore sanity?
It's a great question. I love where your head's at. So
Thank
basically, my big concern has always been, like, first of all, I hate myself with good reason, and I think everyone should hate themselves. But what's the right amount?
Can you just, like, before we elaborate on that, can you tell people, like, what is a thing that you hate about yourself that maybe can inspire other people to hate themselves too?
See, now you're really getting down to it. This is fantastic. I mean, I love how you just break it down so people can really take it in.
Thank you.
So the genesis of this thought process is, I look around at the world, right? I see how people are,
Right.
and it makes me suicidal. And I've always said most people are too stupid to be suicidal,
Right.
right? And then the question is, like, why on earth would you not be suicidal in the world we live in now, right? And it's obviously because, you are not seeing things clearly. And if you saw how terrible you were, then you would really be a lot more in tune with reality. And I think a lot of people that are truly terrible, who really should hate themselves enough to change, they just think, I'm fabulous. And ironically enough, thinking you're fabulous makes you even worse than you were in the first place. So here's the thing. If you hate yourself too much, now you're chronically depressed, you can't work, you can't function. But if you love yourself too much, now you're on social media telling people how they should live, right? And both of those are equally terrible. So what's the right amount of self-loathing? That's the question. And if we can get to the root of that, then we could solve every problem on earth, because it's all there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because shame is what keeps everything in check.
That is true.
Right?
That is
shame is the barometer by which we, restore balance.
I mean, again, we're back to something we talked about a long time ago, which is still relevant, is if we had no shame in our lives,
That's right.
we would be so rich that it would be incredible.
That's right.
Let's say, me and you could probably go into porn.
Yeah.
Right? And specialize in elderly men. Right?
Among other things, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that could be our, like, okay, if we had no shame, like, what are you doing? No, I make a porn channel for only people over 70.
Right.
Right? What, is that a market? Like, maybe. Like, but you're the biggest one on that market, right?
Right.
Or whatever it is.
I would go life coach. I would say that's the biggest scam on earth.
I mean, that's too far.
Is it?
If you become a life coach, that's much worse than anything.
I mean, that's worse than being a narcos from South America.
100%.
It's better to sell crack cocaine to a middle school than it is to call yourself a life coach.
I mean, I thought you were joking, but okay, a life coach, sure. But you're right. You are right. If you have no shame, that is not a problem.
That's right.
You have no shame, that's not a problem. So basically, if me and you had, if we didn't have any thoughts towards our parents, family, friends, whatever, we would then just go hog wild, sell weapons to small, tiny nations.
Of course.
And use our political influence or whatever to then create war so we can sell more weapons.
Right.
If we had no shames, we could do that.
And we course, yes.
If we had no shames, we could hey, let's go into the bomb. Let's buy some BlackRock stocks.
That's
right? If we had no shame.
From international waters.
Exactly. Blackwater, Blackstone, all the black companies. It's Blackstone, Blackwaters, and BlackRock.
Right.
Right. So
let me just put it into perspective for you.
Yes, please.
When I was, 20 years old, I saw the world in a certain way. I was like, yeah, you got to work out. You got to be this way. People who are depressed are weak, I used to think when I was in my 20s, And, you got to be a doer. You got to do it this way. You got to do it that way. I had a whole bunch of thoughts about how the world worked. Then life came and beat me down to the ground. And then it changed how I saw the world. And then after I woke up at rehab in Thailand and then went through 5 years of psychiatric drug withdrawal and had people after me for 3 years and lived at a secret address and my whole world collapsed.
Right.
That's when I really realized, wow, I don't know anything. And I can't even run my own life. The idea of me teaching someone else how to live is just beyond absurd. So the thing is, you have to be so fucking stupid to believe that you should tell other people what to do. And these people sit on these podcasts everything you're avoiding is where everything you're looking for is. And that's great and all, but everyone's going to take that the wrong way. Hitler would listen to that and say right, I should create death camps. So people who are very, very stupid are very, very certain, right? And no one should be certain of anything. Everyone should be uncertain of everything.
Right.
That would be a great world to live in.
I think people would agree with you.
Absolutely.
But okay, but the shame is holding people back, basically.
Well, all I'm saying is this: there's a lot of really great people that have too much shame to go out there and really do their thing, but stupid people have no shame,
right?
And they just go hog wild. There are these coaches, okay? In coaching, there are people who coach other people on how to be a coach.
What a coinkydink.
Right.
Because I'm going to show you something now.
Okay.
Or this is audio. This is a woman on the internet here who says, the easiest way to become a 6-figure coach.
Nice.
Right? I would do this. So she has 12,000 subscribers, and she's called Life Coaching with whatever her name is. Okay, ready?
Is Krista Kathleen, and I am the founder and the CEO at the Born to Coach Training Academy. And in today's video,
Born to Coach Academy, right? How do you get in there? Well, I'm born for this, right?
Don't question the credentials.
I want to talk to you about the fastest and easiest way to become a 6-figure coach.
music, and then she gets into this.
I've been coaching for about 8 years now, full time. And last year I had my first 6-figure year. And before that, for a couple of years, I was at the 50,000 to 60,000 per year mark, which I was more than happy with, because before I became a coach, I was a
what are
labor
the
and delivery
steps?
nurse, and that's about what I was.
What's
getting
the
paid as a nurse.
steps?
So it was always my dream.
Jesus Christ! Yes, you're great. Okay.
If I was going to become a coach, I would teach people how to deal with a narcissist.
Right.
And then I would go out there and I would attack the entire social media landscape like a narcissist, claiming everyone else was a narcissist.
But here she has some, now thoughts plus feelings plus actions equals results.
Nice.
All right. Are you ready for this?
Never been more ready.
And your actions create your results. So what that means is, if you constantly wake up every day having the thought of, well, I don't believe that I can be a successful coach, and I don't believe that anyone is going to pay me good money to be their coach, that's going to make you feel probably depressed and unmotivated to work on your business. And as a result, that's going to influence your action, which you're probably not going to prioritize or make time to work on your business or invest in your business. And as you can see, this is influencing your results of not having a successful coaching business, and it's all stemming from these negative thoughts and the scarcity type of thinking. So I like to say, if you can create negative thoughts, you can create positive thoughts.
Holy shit. If you can create negative thoughts, you can create positive thoughts.
Wow. I would pay a lot of money.
I mean, I would pay her 6 figures.
She's living up to it. Here's my question. How come no one needed a coach from 1939 to 1945?
But they did have a coach. He lived a little bit in Austria.
Right.
He lived on top of a mountain.
Berchtesgaden.
Yeah, Bachterstein.
No. Berchtesgaden.
Eagle's Nest?
No, that was his cabin. It was like his main villa, his chalet. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
The number one coach. The German coach of the 1940s.
All right. Okay.
Listen, in all seriousness, why do people need a coach now? Right?
All right.
Why is that? And I'm just look, here's what I'm basing all this on. I go through Instagram every day because I'm addicted, like a heroin junkie.
Yeah.
And I wake up and the anger rises and rises and rises to infinite proportions. And I sit there raging at humanity, just watching these people sit there and be just like, everyone should take vitamin D and like super high doses. And they sit there and I'm like, God damn it. The rage, you know?
Okay, can I just show you one more thing here?
I'm ready.
Just quick.
A source of guidance for people. If you like the idea of starting your own business, you may be considering becoming a life coach. I've been a career coach for over a decade. I've seen a lot of life coaching practice.
Why is it always like women in their mid-40s who are doing this? Is there something about that maybe, and this is just a maybe,
Right.
the husband is making enough money to feed you both, so you have a lot of time on your hands. You're reading The Secret, you're reading all the books about how to be a winner and whatever, self-motivation. And then like, yeah, I should be a life coach because everything is paid for. So I might as well go on YouTube and have 976 subscribers. And you've been in the business of coaching for 10 years. Tell me exactly how you've been doing this for 10 years and you have 1,000 subscribers. How does that work?
Right.
Tell me how, like, hey, I've been a coach for 10 years. Really? How many people are following you? And I'm not saying that likes and followers are the currency of the future.
Right, of course not.
But it kind of is.
Kind of.
Right? When you're into this kind of business. Not if you're just a regular person who has like an Instagram, you shouldn't count your likes. Who gives a shit? Right? You have your friends, you're just posting and you have a secret account or a locked, whatever. But if you're a person who's out there talking, like how to motivate, you have 1,000 subscribers and she's now there. How to decide if you should become a life coach. Listen, this is important.
Practices come and go. Let's figure out if this is right for you.
Tough
some
questions.
Tough questions to help you decide if you're prepared for the reality of becoming a life coach,
Yes.
as well as answer the most frequently asked questions I get about becoming a life coach. My first question for you is, have you spoken to any established coaches about what the career is actually like? It is easy to make assumptions from people's beautiful websites or...
Okay, we're done. This is a cancer in society.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think, please help me on this. Too many life coaches are the cells that are gonna now kill the body.
They are the cancer.
Cancer cells.
Yeah.
I think it is.
100%. You know, listen, there was a guy I knew, a hippie guy, and he was obsessed with teaching people to love themselves.
Right.
These people that he was trying to so-called help, some of the most terrible personalities I've ever met in my life, and he was convincing them that they should just learn how to love themselves.
Right.
And my argument is no. These people should learn how to hate themselves enough to change.
Right.
And so, realistically, coaching is all about teaching people to hate themselves the right amount to become a better person. But instead, all this self-help bullshit is just, you're perfect the way you are. And then someone's there like beating a stranger half to death on the street, going like, you're right. I should just be more myself, you know? And the insanity of like the hippie movement and all these people is like, they just do tons of drugs and tell each other like, you're here for like a mission. You're going to like help everyone sort of like find their star sign. Oh my God. And they're all fucking high on ketamine, right? Pumping frog poison into their veins and like puking all over the place, calling it a ceremony and thinking that the answer is to love yourself more. No, hate yourself enough to get into a rehab, become a better person, and get a life.
Right.
And also get rid of your life coach.
That is one of them. Yeah. I agree with you.
Thank you.
I just went into Instagram. I just put in life coach, and life coach Lucy, and she has like a lot of quotes on her Instagram. Like there's like this one here. Everything feels difficult when you're about to level up in your life. Don't quit. What are you laughing at?
Because I'm just imagining.
How dare you laugh at this
But I'm just
genius quote?
But I'm just imagining Hitler, right? And he's losing at Stalingrad. And he's reading that quote going, you're right, Lucy. You're right. You know? It means different things to different people. Like they all think that everyone is on this like, oh my God, I'm so peaceful and tranquil and amazing.
Hey, listen, this is life coach Lucy. Is a certified life coach.
Whoa, I didn't know about the certification.
She has papers.
Okay, I didn't know about the certification.
Do you have papers?
I thought she was just freestyling.
Healing trauma and transforming life and relationship. Empowering women because women become best version. Okay, but so here's a video she made. Just a quick. 5 signs you're holding on to false hope in your relationship. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
If you're the only one making sacrifices, compromises, and trying to fix things.
That's not subjective.
They've
at all.
shown repeatedly who they are, and they lack okay, they quit. But
again, none of those things are subjective. They're super objective measures. Everyone's toxic but you. And it's like, you know what? You're right. Everyone is toxic but me. Everyone's a narcissist but me, you know?
by the time they realize your worth, you'll be worth more. This is good stuff right here.
Like Bitcoin.
Yes. Also, this one I love.
Nice.
Everything comes to you at the right time.
Of course it does.
Be patient.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. The best investment that you can make is in yourself. Well, tell that to the people invested in Windows or Microsoft early or Apple early,
right?
Or the Bitcoin early. The Rothschild banks in the 1600s.
But you know what's interesting, right? Like, okay, can I give you a perfect example of like a breakdown of that quote? Like, there's hey, I saw this amazing woman who like wrote a book. It was on Joe Rogan or something. Anyway, World War II. Everyone's traumatized after 6 years of war, right?
Yeah.
So based on today's assumptions about trauma, like, oh my God, I'm trauma, I'm triggered, like all this stuff. Like, I can't work, I can't function, I can't be social anxiety, I need meds, like all this stuff. So basically, Europe should have just collapsed in 1945 because there's so much trauma, no one can rebuild Europe, no one can function, no one can work, no one can bake bread. I mean, everyone should just lie down and die, right? So then it turns out that trauma heals itself on its own if you use your attention and put it outward into, as an example, rebuilding Europe, or like rebuilding your house, or like finding your family, or like stuff like that. But the more you focus on yourself, the more you go, oh my God, me and my problems. Oh my God, my migraine. And like, oh my God, how am I feeling today? How's my pinky today? How are my emotions today? Oh, how's my anxiety today? How's my depression today? Me. The more you do that, the sicker you become.
Right.
And so when you hear something like that, so now you're just like, oh my God, you know what? I really just need to, quit work and focus on myself. And then you hear that quote, like, the greatest investment you can ever do is on yourself. When in reality, if you wanted to get healthy, you would go out and start digging a ditch, right?
Yeah.
Of course. Or like building the pyramids. But no, you're just going to like isolate in an apartment, like scrolling on social media, looking for like comforting quotes, like be the change you want to see.
I should make some tea.
Yeah, but like,
I should make some tea,
right?
And
focus
put
on
a blanket on me, around me, and
Yes.
then read about like great quotes about how to become a winner. So much so that I don't have to become a winner because I'm just like getting the feeling of like, oh, now I have the recipe to become a winner, so I don't really have to go out and be one.
All I'm saying is, can you learn how to hate yourself enough to not post stuff like that?
These people lack hatred towards themselves.
That's right. And which is sort of the currency of the future.
Because you would be a perfect life coach
I would.
if it wasn't for the shame.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, you have shame.
Let me tell you something. When I was on cocaine and OxyContin,
Yeah.
I really could have done some coaching.
Oh my God. Could you? I mean, you would be the best.
I would be the best because I was so certain of everything.
Yes.
Because I was an idiot.
Yeah.
To be certain, you have to be so phenomenally stupid that I'm just like, I'm amazed. Like, it's almost like you should get a standing ovation. So if you go up there in front of like 6,000 people, you're like, everyone here should take a vitamin B complex. And it's just like, that's amazing. Like, this is incredible.
Yes.
Because there's nothing in your head saying like, what the fuck am I doing? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm amazing, which is incredible to me. And if I had that, I literally could start a sect. Right? And I would have all these people doing frog poison and ketamine within 6 days. You know what I mean? Handing me all their money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 6 days is pushing it, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, probably the day one.
Would you ever doubt me being able to start a cult if I had no shame?
I almost joined myself.
Right.
But then you went to rehab.
Right.
I was like, where is my leader?
Yes.
You know?
Yes, right.
So the topic of today is
learning to hate yourself.
Learning to hate yourself.
Or to put it this way, what's the right amount of self-hatred? Because if you constantly think like, oh, I'm useless at everything, I'm talking about a healthy amount of self-criticism.
Exactly.
But when you go on social media, it's very evident that there is no self-criticism. People are just thinking like, I am fucking fantastic. And that's not a good thing. It sounds like a good thing, but it's not a good thing. Hating yourself the right amount, that's the good thing.
That's, again, it's the Goldilocks zone.
Yeah, it is.
It is the Goldilocks zone. Not too much, but
not too little either.
So because so the planet Earth, right? All the planets around, basically, it has no life, right? There's no life on Mars. There's no life on whatever. So, but on Earth there is. Mm-hmm. Why is that? Because it's like we don't really know, but it is just like the sweet spot, how like the distance from the sun and like the way it moves around the sun. It's just a perfect trajectory, and everything's great.
Right.
Like there's other planets closer to the sun. It's like really cold on one side and like hundreds of degrees on the other side, and then the planet revolves and it just like burns up on one side and it's just frost on the other one. Right? It's just like hell on Earth.
Right.
All day long. So how do you then So I'm asking you a question here. How do you then come to like when do you know you're in a Goldilocks zone?
Right.
How do you know, okay, this is enough hatred to keep me balanced, but not like, not too much, because then I'm getting what do you call it, like depressed or
Right.
yeah. So how do you keep it, like where is the Goldilocks zone?
I mean, it's a great question. First of all, the worst people I've ever met in my life who are capable of the most, to inflict the most suffering on others, are people who think, I'm only nice. I don't have the ability to be mean. I'm only nice. These people can become stalkers. Like, these people can hunt you down and stab you with a knife. These people are capable of anything because they think, I'm just fantastic. I can't do anything wrong.
Until they snap.
Well, even after they snap, they still make up a story where
Sure.
It's just like, I was just trying to help him.
Yeah.
Like, Anders he denied my help, and so I had to chase him down.
Right.
Etc. So all I'm saying is this. You should, at any given time, think, I am a horrible human being trying to not be. So here's a perfect example, okay? Psychiatric drug withdrawal. If you go off an antidepressant very quickly, or a mood stabilizer, or an antipsychotic, or a gabapentinoid, or anything from psychiatry,
Right.
you're going to most likely, a lot of people don't have withdrawals, but if you do have withdrawals, you're going to get really, really sick mentally and physically because of a destabilized nervous system. When that happens, nothing can help you other than potentially reinstating the drug or leaving it alone. The only thing you can do is like give it time. So there's certain supplements that all these health coaches and all these practitioners and all these, I'm a naturopath or whatever the fuck it is, which is like, you got to take valerian root, you got to take some schizandra, you got to take some passion flower, you got to take ashwagandha, you got to take reishi mushroom, you got to do this, you got to do that. All those things will make you worse if you have a destabilized nervous system, right? So here are all these health coaches like, everyone should be taking reishi mushroom, you know what I mean? And there are people out there going off antidepressants, just listening to these morons. They're taking the reishi, getting so sick from the situation, right? And then these coaches will say the following, because these people will say, like, I'm way worse than I've ever been doing the stuff you're saying. That means it's working.
Yeah.
And that's how sick people operate. And sick people think, hey, I'm doing great. Everything's great. Assume you're terrible. And then look for small moments where you're not. That's a great way to live.
Yeah, but we have the quote right here. It's just, she said, it's going to be fantastic. Just be patient, Don't stop.
Never stop.
Don't quit.
Never stop.
Like, the change is going to be rough, but it's going to help you. Don't quit, lady.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Why is it that everyone wants to help others now? And they don't actually want to like sit with old people or like, be with people as they die or sick people or anything. They just want to go on social media and be just like, you can do it.
Yeah.
Why do people want to do that? Why does everyone want to be like a guru but not have the wisdom? Everyone wants the wisdom of a guru without ever having suffered or having done anything. Why is that so appealing?
Again, it's the narcissism unleashed.
Right. And
There's no shame anymore. That's the problem.
right. So I am right.
Of course you're right.
All I'm saying is this. If you're gonna be an unhinged piece of shit, narcissistic psychopath, at least have the decency to start a social media account where you talk about narcissism as if you're not one. Don't go on there talking about reishi mushroom.
But let me just push back a little bit here.
You're pushing back on reishi mushroom.
I'm pushing back on that one.
Okay.
But the other one, like, so when it comes to all the withdrawals and all the vitamins and all that, like, there's probably maybe like a couple of doctors who's watching this, or health personnel who's just like, that he said about the going like nervous system and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's wrong, or maybe that's just you, or like, what do you say to those people? Like, that you're kind of like, no, that's not for like that doesn't happen to everyone. Like going off a pill or whatever, like that's no problem at all. Like, what do you have to say? What do you have to say to them?
Well, opiates and benzodiazepines, everyone knows those are addictive, so we can throw those out. But with the other so-called medication that people see as non-addictive, they aren't addictive because you don't want more and more of them because they don't give you like a good feeling.
Right.
But they create dependence. So modern medicine has a tendency to deny homeostasis. If you take a synthetic pill and it's in your system 24/7, after a certain amount of time, your body will adapt to it. And that means if you take away that pill, your body will now cease to function normally without it. 50% of people get withdrawals from antidepressants. Of those 50%, 50% of those, again, get serious withdrawal. And it's a very difficult thing because doctors don't, doctors deny it, basically.
But if you can have a life coach, does that mean that you don't have to take the pill?
I mean, I would say that, here's what's crazy. I'm going to say something crazy.
Right.
Because life coaching...
Now you're going to say something crazy.
For the first time ever.
This is the point where
This is it.
This is it now.
Well, first of all, we know that being a life coach is worse than being a Nazi.
That is true.
We know that.
Yeah.
But I would say it's better to get a life coach than to take an antidepressant.
That's a bold statement.
It's crazy. Like I said.
mean, that's a bold statement.
But I gave you a disclaimer. You knew something crazy was coming.
Oh, that is crazy.
Well, hold on.
That's
to
a
your
little bit too
hats.
crazy, if you ask me. So okay.
So all I'm saying is this. There's more between heaven and earth, Horatio, than is thought of in your philosophy.
Right.
And if you've been through something like psychiatric drug withdrawal, where suddenly the laws of physics are upside down, working out too much will in fact prevent you from sleeping because you have a destabilized nervous system. Then suddenly you start to question like, is everything so black and white as I thought it was when I was stupid enough to think I could be a coach?
But a destabilized nervous system, is that like a broad, like umbrella expression for a bunch of stuff?
I think so. I think like when you go through like...
Because of the nerve, I'm like, I have a nervous system,
Do you?
right?
Yeah, I mean, yes.
I do have one now.
Yeah.
And so that's just like, that just cables going from my body up to my brain or the other way around, right? So... But how is that destabilized exactly? But it's in the brain, right?
It's just so crazy because like these synthetic, the thing about the drugs like the antidepressants and all this stuff, they're synthetic.
Right.
So like if you take opiates, they're made from poppies. If you take cocaine, they're made from the coca plant. If you drink alcohol, it's made from barley, wheat, rice, whatever. These are relatively natural things, marijuana, right? But for some reason, these synthetic drugs, like the body makes an enormous adaptation if you're on them long enough. And when you take them away, the nervous system goes completely unhinged. The most painful thing I've been through in my entire life. All I'm saying is this. When I was in psychiatric drug withdrawal, then I couldn't talk, I couldn't walk, I couldn't breathe, I couldn't function. I had 50 panic attacks like a day. I couldn't be alone. I couldn't go into the store. It was like claustrophobic to be alive. I was paranoid. I couldn't remember my own life. I had nightmares. It was just a nightmare. Like, I would easily go to Stalingrad as a German soldier, like in December, okay, of that battle, then go through one day of psychiatric drug withdrawal because it was so brutal. Mm-hmm. And if I heard someone in the middle of that suffering say like, you can do it, be the change you want to see, then it made me more suicidal, right?
Right.
So these people think like, I'm helping everyone by saying generic things that, the Dalai Lama said or fucking Gandhi said or whatever, but you can actually make people worse. All I'm saying is if you can hate yourself, it's a great thing. It's a very, I think it's a very undervalued thing in our society to hate yourself the right amount.
Well, I'm glad you said that.
Thank you.
Because I have some good news.
Oh, nice.
I have some good news. So this is a story about shame and maybe a little late, but eventually it showed up.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Right. So here's what's something the BBC is telling us. The Iceland's Minister of Children, or for Children, has resigned after admitting she had a child with a teenager more than 30 years ago. Exactly.
Nice.
Astildur Lua Thorsdottir said in a media interview that she had first started a relationship when the boy was 15 years old and she was 22 years old. She was a counselor at a religious group, which she attended. Great. She then gave birth to this child when he was 16, and she was 23. It's been 36 years. A lot of things change in that time. I would definitely have dealt with this issue differently today. The 58-year-old woman told the Icelandic media. So she's stepping down from her position as a child minister because she had a child with a child. You know? Iceland, blah, 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 told the press it was a serious matter, although she said she knew a little more than the average person. This is a very personal matter. Out of respect for the person concerned, I will not comment on the substances. Sure, all that's great. But she resigned, and I mean, here's my point. Because when you're a minister, usually, right, you do something scandalous. They just continue as a governor. They continue as a senator. Yeah, but you did something horrible. Yeah, well, that's just it is what it is.
Yeah,
there's no shame.
Or the worst one of all. Well, you know what? I'm not going to be hard on myself.
Right. Oh, I'm not going to be hard. And they're like, they did something wrong. I'm like, yeah, but I've learned from the experience and I'm moving on.
Yeah.
But I'm continuing as the leader of this horrible thing that I've created.
Right, right.
So here's a woman who actually then, okay, it's 30 years later, but she steps down as a child minister because there's shame. Right. So congratulations. You know, it wasn't that difficult.
We respect this shame.
And by the way, she was 22, he was 15. I mean, if you ask me,
it was summer camp.
Summer camp. I don't know what the ages of consent in Iceland is.
What happens at summer camp stays.
I don't think that's the expression. I think you're confusing that with some gambling hellhole
right.
in Nevada.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Perhaps.
Like, hey, remember, kids,
look,
as your counselor,
look,
what happens at summer camp stays at summer camp.
Let me tell you something. I am so hard on myself at any given time, right? My perfectionism is crippling, okay?
Hey, by the way, sorry to interrupt you. Right. I have newsflash. The Iceland age of consent is 15.
So she didn't do anything wrong?
No.
Right.
So,
but still, you got to respect a good step down.
Hey, you got to you got to respect it.
You got to respect the step down.
Right.
All I'm saying is this. I am crippled by my own perfectionism. Okay? If I do something and it doesn't turn out completely perfect, I hate myself for weeks.
Right.
Nothing bothers me more than someone who makes a huge mistake and then just goes, you know what? I'm not going to be hard on myself. I'm going to decide to love myself.
Right.
And it's just like, hey, the rest of us are over here swimming around in a pool of self-loathing, and you don't have the decency to be an upstanding citizen and hate yourself the right amount. I mean, what do you think about that?
I agree. It's
scandalous.
It's beyond scandalous. It's beyond scandalous. I'm just, again, Iceland, it was 14, but they raised it to 15.
Right.
So this woman, I support her. I support the Iceland child. I think the fact that she gave up her job shows that she should have it back.
Right.
Like, you've proven yourself worthy.
Right.
Right? You drank from the right cup.
That's right.
You've now chosen wisely.
I think the Japanese nailed it with that harakiri.
Yes.
What was that? That was a samurai sword?
Yeah, you put a small one into your stomach.
And why would you do that?
Because
of the shame.
Because of shame.
Right?
Yes.
So the Japanese, they took this so seriously.
I think they did it a bit too much, to be honest.
Yes, I know, but that's why we're discussing the balance.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit behind on the loan. I'll just kill myself. No, come on. Like, I'll give you a week, no problem.
I gave you a cup of sugar last week. You didn't return it.
Yeah, and then they killed themselves.
Yeah.
I think they stretched it a little too far.
A little bit.
Yeah. So, and this is, I'm sorry to go into this topic here, but the age of consent in like Albania is 14, Andorra is 14. So it's like it's crazy how this works. Bosnia 14. What the fuck is going on? Bulgaria 14. Shit, man.
Okay, but again.
Anyway, yeah, this is not a podcast about age of consent.
No, it isn't.
It's about self-hatred. Not anymore. It used to be.
Yes, it used to be.
And we got fired.
That's the last
we
time,
stepped down.
That's the last time we had our own kid show.
We stepped down.
That's right, we did.
We got fired, and then we said, we'll step down.
That's right.
No, you can't step down when you get fired.
Yeah.
When you're fired, you're fired.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll step down.
So now, finally, all we want to do is own an oil rig, right, from international waters with a helicopter and a suitcase full of cash, funneling money back and forth from the Virgin Islands. And that's the point of this podcast.
Right.
And how do we do that? You give people the truth.
Right.
All the worst people I meet, you know what their attitude is? They go, this is about me, not us. We're saying, hey, this is about them, the audience, the world.
The world.
Right? So all I'm saying is, I'm not saying anyone should be suicidal, okay? That's not a good thing to be. But hey, you should feel pretty bad about yourself at any given time because that's what makes you act like a good person.
You shouldn't be suicidal, but you should think about it.
That's it. That's it. Because I love this. Like, if we were going to do some kind of promo of this episode,
Right.
I'm not saying you should be suicidal, but...
Yeah, don't be suicidal.
Don't be suicidal, but...
Yeah, but you shouldn't think about unliving yourself, which is the new thing people say. Unalive?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, I think so.
Unaliving yourself?
I think so. Do we have to bleep it all now?
I think you have to bleep it.
Oh, so
sorry.
much, but no.
But this is educational, so I think you're allowed to say it.
Okay.
Anyway, who knows? But the point is this.
Feel bad.
Unalive yourself.
Feel bad is all I'm saying.
You shouldn't unalive yourself, but you should, just think how would that be? Right? Because I think you should at least think about everything in life.
Have you ever been on a date?
Yes.
And have you ever tried, remember, think through your whole life. Have you ever tried to kiss someone and they reject you? That should be your feeling every time you make a mistake. And if you did that, I think people would be better people.
Yeah, but that's not allowed anymore, to try to kiss someone. We don't do that anymore.
What do you mean?
People don't do it. That's like in the 90s. They stopped doing that.
What do they do now?
They ask if they can kiss them.
Do they?
Yeah?
No.
Hey, can I kiss you? And then you have to record that they say yes.
Right.
But they also have to sign that they are willing to be recorded, giving the statement.
But if you ask, then
Listen, love is dead.
it is, right?
It's just a transaction.
Right.
Like, can you help me pay bills?
Right.
Yes. Okay. Sign here, please.
Okay.
And then you move in together, and then whatever happens. But yeah, we don't kiss anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, everything's down. The stock market is down. People are not sleeping together anymore. There's less.
No children.
No children. People are buying weapons, sitting in their basement,
Yeah.
writing their manifesto.
Yeah.
That's the new thing now.
Well, never stop writing your manifesto.
Yeah, don't stop writing it.
My favorite line ever
Right.
is, where do I email my manifesto?
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of people asking that question these days.
I think that most people are. Where do I email it? Yeah.
Where do I email it?
Yeah, where do I send it, basically?
Because here's what's crazy is, if you work on a script, a Hollywood script for a
Yeah.
long time,
you have a great script.
you have a great script, you send it out to the studios, you lunch, you go around, you go to the cool cafes, and
Right.
you mingle with people.
Right.
But if you write a great manifesto in your cabin in the woods, right, off the grid, where do you email it? Right? You put a lot of work into this. You've been threatening different people and...
Yeah. Different people.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
hey, you've laid out a framework for societal change.
Yes.
And
radical societal change.
And where do you send it?
Exactly. That's the problem. A lot of people have.
So if anyone works for the government, if they could just send us the email,
Yes.
and then we could give it out to the people listening.
I think that's a way to make money, actually.
What do you mean?
We're a platform where you can. This is a platform where you can email your manifesto.
That's right.
And then
we'll get it to the right people.
we'll get it out there. It's just the $9.99 a month.
That's right.
Right?
Keep sending us your manifestos.
Listen, just put in your card, put in your details,
Yeah.
create a user profile,
Manifesto of the month.
manifesto of the month.
Maybe you'll win.
Yes,
Yeah.
we read through them.
And the best one.
we give notes.
Yes.
We give notes.
We do. We give notes on manifestos.
So I hope you know this.
Yeah.
When the German Nazi leader,
Which one?
the guy with the mustache,
Which one?
the guy with the age name.
Himmler.
No, the other one.
Oh, him. Okay.
Yeah, the guy who shot his wife in a bunker.
Right, him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He when he wrote Mein Kampf,
Yeah.
I don't know where I read this, but they changed the name. It was actually called like the stupidity, cowardice, and
No, 4 years.
4 years of stupidity, cowardice, and something else, communism.
4 years of
Social-
fighting against.
Fighting, yeah,
those
that was his title.
Yeah.
A long title. But then the publisher,
a manifesto guy.
no, like the people who were publishing the book,
Right.
They said that we have to change the title, and then they said like this is kind of like it's like your struggle in a way.
Yeah.
They're like, Mein Kampf, yeah, sure,
Yeah.
there you go. It's we need like the ink. It's too much ink
Yeah.
in yours. Like 4 years of again, which again shows you how important producers are.
It's right.
How important they are.
Yeah.
And this is a show who celebrates producers.
That's right.
I mean, we need them more than anything. I mean, you have actors, you have directors and all that, but the really heroes, the unsung heroes are the producers.
Yeah, that's right.
The people who say, listen, this is great. I love the script. Love the idea. I love the people here.
Yeah.
But we have to make some changes.
Right.
We need to have diversity
Right.
to make this sell, right?
Yeah.
And then they do it.
Yeah.
And again, back to 1930, I don't know when the book was published, like 25, I don't know. Anyway, he wrote it in 22, something.
Yeah, I mean, he wrote it
In prison.
Yeah.
And then after prison, he went around with his script.
Yeah.
His manifesto.
Yeah, he was shopping around his script.
Like, hey, I got a book here. I got a book here. Like, yeah, you know, there's a lot of hatred right now.
Yeah.
Like, we have like that. It's not selling the way it used to. Even though the war happened.
I like the part about Lebensraum, but other than that,
Listen, this is a great book, and your writing is good. Your commas, your exclamation points.
a lot of exclamation points.
This is great stuff.
yeah.
But this is not selling right now.
No, yeah.
Like you hate the people and the all the different the Jews and all the stuff. We don't think this is gonna take off anytime soon.
I don't think the Aryan race thing is trending right now.
Yeah, it's not really trending.
Yeah.
So, but thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Take a lollipop on the way out.
Yeah, they're free.
They're free.
Yeah.
And then he went to this publishing house, and then it's like, hey, listen, we'll give it, but we have to change the title here. It's your struggle, Mein Kampf. Like, and he probably like, listen, I need the money, so do whatever you want.
Right.
You know. So they didn't say anything about like, hey, all these people you want to kill in this book here, maybe you can do some changes there. No, they're like, hey, the title's too long.
No, they read it all. They go, change nothing, but just
Hey,
he's struggling. This guy.
We love the book.
Yeah.
The title too long.
Yeah, that's right.
That's it.
That's it.
That's the only thing we need to change here.
That's the only thing.
So and then we have a deal. What do you say, H-man? Can I call you the H-man? Yeah, you might. H-man.
Like a really slick Hollywood guy.
H-man. How you doing? We're selling a lot of books.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a bonus for you.
This new title.
Hey, this new title is really sick, man.
Hey, is that the Struggle Man?
Struggle Man. H-man.
Oh, man. So that's great. So, yeah, send in your manifesto. We give notes.
We give notes.
Yeah.
But anyway, when it comes to the self-hatred stuff, I think it's important to do the balancing act. And a lot of people are now probably asking, okay, I'm ready to hate myself.
Right.
I'm ready to do it.
They are.
I have the clothes on.
Yeah.
I have dimmed the lights in my apartment.
Uh-huh.
I've bought the ice cream.
I've stopped making gratitude lists. I've started making self-hatred lists.
I've turned off the phone.
Yeah.
So what a person is listening to this podcast right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready to start hating myself.
Right.
I'm ready to get with the program. I need this hatred.
I'm ready to embrace the philosophy.
Yes. I want to listen to the Dex man.
I want results. I'll do whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Okay, they're in the darkness. They're ready to commence the hate.
Yeah.
How much hate are we talking about here?
Right.
What is the perfect amount? Help them.
I think it's as simple as this. And this is really, really important. A lot of people, they talk all the time to keep alive a story about who they are,
Right.
what their life is about.
Right.
If you just stop talking, just stop talking for just a couple of days, and the hatred will reveal itself. It's there. It's always there. You just got to allow it to seep in.
But how do you then keep it in check? Like, how do you keep the hatred in check?
No.
Like-
You embrace it, and then you internalize it. And once you've done that, you become a better person. There's just something about, like, if you walk around in society and you meet 100 people that day, and they go, how's it going? And you say, oh, I'm not sleeping. 100 out of 100 of those people will say, here's what you got to do. Right? Here's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Right? Now, a person who hates themselves the right amount doesn't say that. They just say, I have no advice for you.
I sympathize.
I sympathize. I'm listening, but I have no advice.
Yeah, I can't help you with this one.
Well, maybe I can, maybe I can't, but I'm not the one to say.
Yeah. So basically, like, I'll give you advice if you want.
If they ask.
If they ask,
Other than that, nothing.
nothing.
So a person who's hating themselves the right amount
Right.
just shuts their mouth pretty much all the time. And the people who have no fucking idea what they're doing are just talking 24/7. And it's brutal. You know, other than this podcast, I don't talk at all.
I know.
So listen, if you just...
It's so nice to hear your voice again.
I know, right? Finally. So listen, if you just shut your mouth, sure, work on your manifesto. You know,
Right.
you can do other stuff, but just don't talk. So what a lot of people do is they'll grab a hold of people to tell them how it is. They'll say, like, listen, oh my God, I'm going through my rock bottom, and now I'm starting a healing journey, and this is happening and that's happening, and oh, my girlfriend's cheating on me, and that's a great thing because she's finding herself, and I'm so enlightened, and all this fucking nonsense.
Oh, yeah. Being a cuck.
Just shut it down. Just shut it down.
Shut it down.
Yeah. So just shut down your whole fucking thing and just, let me tell you this. The unsung heroes of World War II were the British fighter pilots, right? The unsung heroes of 2025 are the people who just shut their mouth.
Okay, so we didn't give the RAF pilots enough grace?
No, I'm just saying they were heroes. And if you
they were heroes.
Yeah, but you can be a hero today too, but you just got to stop talking.
Yeah, today is, yeah.
If you think it's a good idea, I've already said this, but if you think it's a great idea for you to be talking and so-called speaking out or speaking your truth or any kind of nonsense like that, if you feel that that's a good idea, you have to just shut your mouth.
So,
However, if you think, oh, I'm the last person to be saying anything, then you're qualified to talk. That's the dilemma.
So today,
Life is like a Rubik's Cube.
because it's like the song, like everybody's talking at me.
That's right.
I can't hear a word they're saying.
That's right.
But if you're the guy who's not talking, you're the focus point people need in that like video camera that is like just like flying everywhere, right? It's hard to focus.
I'll tell you this, just like doing nothing is doing everything, saying nothing.
Who said that? Who said that?
It was a guy who invented metacognitive therapy.
If you say again the quote.
Doing nothing is doing everything.
Oh my God.
That's right. But just like that is a hardened truth, okay?
Yeah.
If you do nothing, you're doing everything.
How are you doing everything if you're doing nothing?
I think the very fact that you have to ask that question is quite pathetic. But just like that is a hardened truth, a foundational rock for us to stand on.
Right.
By saying nothing, you are literally saying everything.
How?
Put that...
Here's my problem with all these quotes. It's like, wow. It's like, but what does it mean?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
we don't ask questions around
Yeah.
here. That's negative.
The only thing we need in 2025 is silence, more silence. And if you're not talking, you're contributing to that, which is a great thing. What he means by
Okay, please.
what he means by doing nothing is doing everything.
Yeah, what does he mean?
He means that if you have social anxiety, as an example, a lot of people like start doing yoga, start taking vitamins, start doing this, standing on their head, seeing a therapist, doing all these things, which ironically enough, you're feeding the monster, creating more anxiety. But if you can leave that feeling alone, it'll go away on its own. So doing nothing is doing everything. And shutting your mouth is the best form of talking.
Yeah.
And hey, put that in your manifesto.
Yeah. If that goes right in my book. Okay, so what you're saying is, if you sit alone in a dark home, in your apartment, house,
Ideally a basement, yeah.
ideally a basement, with internet connection, of course, and you're just sitting there not talking, not doing anything, you're kind of
You're doing everything and you're saying everything.
You're doing everything and saying everything. That's what you're saying?
I think anyone who questions that is just they're beyond help.
Right.
Because if you don't know what that means, then I can't help you.
Yeah, that's a you problem.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think to put it this way, if you don't understand that, you don't have enough shame.
Again, it's the shame. Like the fact that you have to ask that question, like, but why? How? Why does that quote? Like, what is the meaning behind it?
Yeah.
Like, don't you have any shame?
That's right.
Like, you shouldn't ask that question.
Yeah.
You should have shame and not ask it.
That's right.
Right.
Exactly.
You should have shame and not ask it.
Well, I mean, not asking. No. Like, you should ask, but then when I tell you, like, what a stupid question, then you should feel shame.
That's when the shame comes in.
Yeah.
Right?
So you don't ask because of the shame. You have no shame. You ask, then you feel the shame.
Yeah, you have shame, you ask the question, and then now you really should feel the shame.
If anyone, like, here's what's crazy. Like, if someone tells you, like, you know, you're a bad person and I don't like you, right?
Yeah.
Most people's instinct is like, what? What the fuck? You're the blah, blah, blah. And they'll just start ranting on, like, so-called protecting themselves, right?
Right.
Why don't people go, like, really? Why do you think that? Like, why aren't people more curious? If someone says, like, you know, you're the worst person I've ever met.
Hey, I would be curious.
I'm always curious. People say it to me all the time. I'm always curious.
Hey, I've experienced people telling me that, like, that person didn't like you, for example.
Uh-huh.
And I always feel that is always like it's kind of it's funny in a weird way, because very often when I hear it like that, it's like from a person I don't know. It's like, but I never spend any time with that person. How did they like? I feel nothing towards that person. Like I wouldn't care. I wouldn't go to the funeral. I wouldn't go to their birthday party. Like it's not important to me. But how does that person like accumulate? Like, oh, I don't like, or I hate, or like based on what exactly, right? And it's for me, it's like, well, there's people I don't like and stuff, but it's like I'm not selling it. I'm not selling, I don't like that person. Right. Like who? I don't know the person, but I don't like you kind of sound stupid if you don't like somebody you don't know.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So, and again, shame. Like, don't you have any shame?
Yeah.
You shouldn't, like, if you hate somebody, you should at least do the minimum effort of doing some research.
Right.
Like, you should spend time with that person for, like, have a coffee at least.
Invite them down to Greece.
Listen, I hate you, but I don't really know. But I just want to I want to have a coffee with you just to see if my hatred is correct.
Or even better, like, I hate you. Let's celebrate Christmas together.
Okay, well, I mean, that's pushing it a little bit too far, I think.
Right.
Just like, hey, I hate you, but just to not sound like an idiot, I want to just test the theory.
Right.
Like, do you want to have dinner, or like go for a walk?
Right.
Like, that's free, right?
Yeah,
go for a walk, and then like because I need to know if I hate you, and I want to justify my hatred by knowing you better. Right. Right. Because just going around hating people, it's just like it doesn't really fly.
Right.
Right. Because like again, I'm for hate.
Of course.
Big fan.
Hey, never doubted it.
Never doubted hate.
Right.
So, but you want to hate the right people
for the right reasons.
For the right reasons.
The right amount at the right time.
Because if you make up things about people you hate, you kind of lose. Because like you know what the thing you said about that person doesn't really. You're losing credibility.
Right.
Right?
I do that all the time because I hate everyone.
That you do.
Yeah.
That you do.
Yeah, especially those fucking podcast people with their fucking like, oh, I'm going to teach everyone how to live, like vitamin D this, like trauma that, like fuck off. What the heck? You know what I mean?
Right.
And granted, I'll take it. Maybe I do sound like an idiot, but you know, I got to be honest. I'm a little bit addicted to rage. It's like a cozy, warm feeling, you know, because they're the problem, not me.
Do you want to know? I think people who are full of rage live longer.
I think so too.
That's what I think.
Right? Why do you think that?
Because it's because your blood is boiling.
Well, I'm certainly not repressing it.
You're having a high heart rate, right?
Yeah.
It's pumping. You're using your muscles. You get testosterone. You're getting right into like this fight mode.
Yeah.
And I think that's like healing for the body.
Fighting life.
Fighting life, like just hating and just like fucking screaming.
I agree.
Because like you're using energy.
Yeah.
And I think that's good.
I think that these fucking hippie people, okay, who do this breath work bullshit and all this ayahuasca and all this shit, they all suppress their anger. Whatever, I'm totally calm.
Have you done ayahuasca?
No.
Have you done frog poison?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Combo, it's called.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
But you hate them now.
Well, yeah, because I now know it's stupid.
Now you know it.
Well, I used to be like them, and I hate myself so much for being like them.
But the people who told you you were an idiot doing that at that time, have you apologized to them?
I don't recall there being anyone. Listen. I was...
Because you told me that you took frog poison once.
Yeah.
And you were just puking for 5 days.
Yeah.
And then like, now I'm never going to be sick again.
That's right. That's what I said, yeah.
And I said, listen, you moron of a human being.
Right.
And like, well, and I think like a couple of weeks later, you're like, I can't do it today. I have a cold.
Right.
It's like, but didn't you have the frog poison from Amazonia?
Yeah.
Amazon poison?
Listen, here's the most important thing about that story. I used to be like these spiritual hippie people.
Right.
And then I hated myself enough to change.
Is there a way back for these people?
Hey, hate yourself. Take that hatred that you're suppressing and pretending isn't there. Bring it up to the surface. Embrace the rage, then turn it on yourself.
So what you're saying is that if one wants to leave that community and be accepted back into society,
yes,
through you,
that's right. I'm the gatekeeper.
You're the gatekeeper.
Yeah.
Kingmaker.
That's right.
They have to show self-hatred. And like, yes, you hate yourself just the right amount to then give you the...
You got to hate yourself enough to put down the frog poison and have a respectable amount of rage.
And then you will forgive them.
Hey, show me your manifesto and I'll tell you who you are.
Show me your manifesto and I'll forgive you.
That's right.
Yeah. Great. Right. I think that's great.
That's great.
Okay. I think we've solved a lot of problems today.
As always.
And again, people, as we've been saying many times in this show, we believe that there's a way back. There's a way to... There is a healing journey.
Redemption.
There is redemption. There is light in the tunnel.
Yeah.
But it's not the tunnel light they are selling you.
That's right.
Like feed your ego. No.
It's the tunnel of pain.
We're saying the opposite.
Yeah.
There's not feeding the ego. It's cannibalizing the ego. It's eating from the ego. That's self-hatred. And that will solve your problems. Don't feed the ego. Eat the ego.
That's right. As Rinpoche once said, enlightenment is the ego's ultimate disappointment, and self-hatred will get you to all the places you dream of.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Bye.